Hi, I am Atman Curry. I am 30 years old, and I'm from Athens, Georgia. I like Elvis. I was five years old. I like his moves, and I like his singing. I like his jumpsuit.
When was Elvis born?
He was born January 8th, 1935.
Do you remember what city Elvis was born in?
He was from Tupelo, Mississippi.
And what year was Jailhouse Rock made in?
It made in 1957. I think I was on camp, had talent show every year. I had the Athens Got Talent. I won the trophy. And I have an open heart surgery. I was 23, I started. I listened to Elvis when I wake up.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Artis. I am 22 years old. I live in Dawsonville, Georgia. Fold it in half like this, and then back in there you go. Then it makes a lovely little slab. So you want it to line on the clay, but you also want to push it super hard. And it makes a little arch. Well, with my Etsy business, I like to start on Etsy and then make my own website for people to order clay earrings on there. I like after I've cooked, put them in the oven and they come out, I like to just take them off and look at them up close and see, wow, I just did this and how amazing it is to be able to do this. I learned how to make jewelry from Taylor, my caregiver. It took me a little bit of time. I got a little upset at first because I didn't understand why it was messing up, but then Taylor told me it's just a learning curve. You'll learn it eventually and you'll be able to do it by yourself. Just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. I think having a caregiver is really good because you build a relationship with your caregiver and you're like your best friend and they love you no matter what. And no one should ever be told they're nothing because they are something to everyone. One thing I know is that it is important to follow your heart. I am able to do this because of Jesus, Taylor, and my friends. God has given me purpose through making clay earrings, and it is good to be able to run your own business.
My name is Ronald Bovell. I am the age of 23 years old, and I am from Stockbridge, Georgia. I will be reading The First and Tragic Haircut by me, Ronald Bovell. It's actually based on a true story. Let me take you back when I was just a little kid, maybe 3 to 4 years old. I lived in the Bronx with my family. There were 4 other siblings, my grandparents, my aunts, cousins, and Auntie Lucy. Auntie Lucy took care of me and my brothers and sisters, but mostly me. She didn't really understand my autism and thought when I showed autistic behaviors, I was just being plain naughty. Sometimes this is what it looked like for me to be a little tyke with autism. I constantly had food in my hair. My speech was hard to understand, and I wanted to eat the same things all the time. I really disliked being dirty, and I didn't like new people around. It was a very frustrating life for me and my Auntie Lucy back in the day. Did I mention I used to have dreadlocks when I was younger? I'll get to that part of the story a little later. Food had a strange feeling about it. It was all squishy and sticky. I always wanted to wipe it off my hands as quickly as possible, so I rubbed my hands on my dreadlocks. Auntie Lucy was not amused. She became enraged with me because she believed I was just being mischievous. Remember, back then, I couldn't talk much by using words and sentences. Trying to describe to her how much I didn't like the feeling of food on my hands was difficult. All I wanted to do was scrape it off my palms, and my hair seemed like an easy, safe place to put it. We went through this loop every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. One day, Auntie Lucy had just about enough of my behavior. She said we were going out. I didn't know where we were going, so I was kind of excited at first. I thought perhaps we were going for a stroll, or the playground where I could go down the slide and on the swing. Maybe we were going to the ice cream truck that I liked so much. Nope. We ended up at the barber shop. When I realized where we are, I felt pretty nervous. It looked really scary. I questioned why we were there with my limited words. The clippers were also noisy. It got me so afraid that I felt like running away. I bet by now you've guessed what was about to happen. By the time it was over, I was forced to say goodbye to my dreadlocks. It's ironic that I mentioned that I had to say goodbye to them because remember, I actually couldn't really speak at that time. If I could have used words, I would have said something like, "No thank you. I do not care to have my haircut today. In exchange, I promise to try not to rub food on it anymore. But this is not fair." Sadly, nobody asked for my opinion that day. Sigh. My dreadlocks were all gone. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know or understand why she would do such a thing. One thing was quite sure, I was not happy, not one little bit. On the way back, I felt like I was no longer myself. I kept feeling my head to see if I still had my dreads. Things got even worse when my mom and dad came home to see my dreadlocks were gone. My parents weren't very happy with Aunt Lucy. They were surprised, angry, and sad that Aunt Lucy didn't get permission to cut my hair. Not from them, and not from me. In the end, my dreadlocks were gone. I kept my same routine, but there was something different. To be honest, it was a little easier to wash the food off the hair on my head. Still, no matter what, Aunt Lucy should have received the message We do not give haircuts to children without consent. And that is the story of my first and tragic haircut. I hope everyone reading and hearing this story will remember. Even when you are a little kid, you should get help to make choices about your body and your life. And that is the end of the story. Thanks for listening.
Gabby Dollar. And where do you live? And I'm 31. I don't know if you know much about dreidel, but dreidel is a game that you play with gelt. So we were trying to figure out a way for Gabby to be able to spin the dreidel independently and came up with this idea. You have to bet. So we have a lot of Hanukkah gelt. This is our Hanukkah money that we play with. And we bet some. So it's Gabby's turn to spin the dreidel. So Gabby, can you spin the dreidel, please? Can you show them how you spin the dreidel? There you go. Okay. You want to stop it? So Gabby got a shin. There's oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, Gab, how's it going?
Hey,
Am I at work? Yep, I'm doing work. I'm doing work at home. The boy's here too, that's right. You see him behind me?
Oh, who is that? Hi, Louise.
Hi, Gab.
She said, when are you going back?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
And we'll see you at 6 o'clock on Family Zoom.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
What's up, my movie star? Yes? Hey? You love me? Thanks.
Here's John.
Gabby, have you been having fun?
Would you like to put some of that at the vacation house? So it looks like this house? I think we're going to do that.
Hey, babe.
Long time no see.
You know it.
You like being back
Yeah.
at South Effingham Elementary?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Brings back a lot of memories, huh?
Yeah. I am Michael Houghton, Jr. of California, Georgia, and I'm 27 years old.
Mikey, do you remember being on this playground?
A little bit now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's all coming back, huh?
Starting to.
All right, Mikey. What is one of your favorite memories of school? Like elementary school, middle school, or high school?
Elementary.
All right, what was your favorite memory about it?
I like meeting new friends,
Uh-huh.
new opportunities what they given me.
Yeah, the opportunities that they gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a lot of friends in elementary school.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh my goodness.
Lucky you don't do that no more.
And then what did we do a couple weeks ago? We tried to remake this picture.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. There was only like 2
No.
girls holding you up, so that was...
Yeah.
Ladies man.
Hi guys.
You know.
Right.
No, you know who
Oh,
that
that's
is.
Brenda A.
Brenda A's, that's right. Brenda and Miss Kelly on graduation night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Were you surprised when you were nominated for Homecoming King in high school?
Actually, yes. By probability of the vote, I am.
Yeah, you won. So you had to be nominated first, then your name was on the ballot, and then you won.
Well,
I felt like you knew you had it. Look at that.
you're sweaty, happy.
All sweaty and happy?
Mm-hmm.
Because why?
Homecoming.
Yeah, you won Homecoming King.
Mm-hmm. One thing, I'm crying, you know, I'm sweating.
Yeah, from dancing so much at the dance.
Yeah. Me and Mackenzie,
Dancing after what?
homecoming.
Homecoming, that's right. That's a good picture.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You remember this?
Yeah. Me and you in our awkward year. Yeah.
Yeah, we look a little awkward, right?
I was
We're going
got
through,
my long hair.
yeah, you were going through a phase of having long hair.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you got away with wearing a hat in school.
And here's my beautiful issue of all time.
What am I doing to you there?
Read that book.
You always made me read to you when you could read perfectly fine.
Like this I love by you. When do you realize I have Down syndrome?
Our teacher told us, you know, we had a student in our class who was differently abled. So I think probably kindergarten or first when I really knew that you had Down syndrome. The teacher just talked about how we could communicate with you effectively, and we became best friends.
Yeah.
And still are.
Yeah, for past 15 years now.
15 years, that's right. All right, what's your next one for me?
Where do you work?
Where do I work?
Mm-hmm.
I work at Ebenezer Elementary, and I'm a special education teacher. Do you know why I got into special education?
Because of me.
Because of you, that's right. That's right. Why do you think I did though?
Well, you got inspired from me to read me a book.
Book, yes I did. You did inspire me. Yeah, I had to always teach you and read to you, even though you could read. You definitely used me for that. I actually got in trouble multiple times because I would try to do everything for you, and you just allowed me when you could do it perfectly by yourself.
True. That's why I rely on you.
Yeah, you relied on me way too much, more than you should have.
Yeah. Because I'm grateful for you all my life.
I know. Now we rely on each other, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad your armpits don't stink, that's for sure.
She's known you long enough that she'd just tell you.
Yeah, I would. I would tell you.
Look, Michael.
Hello, how are you? Please come in.
Hi, hello, how are you?
My name is Uncle Saigal. I'm 21 years old. I live in San Springs with my family. And welcome to Pasada. I'm making chicken tikka and sikh kebab. Pasada is a bus and a stand in India.
If your place is named after a place in India,
Yeah.
are you from India?
Yes, I'm from India. My family from India.
What part of India?
New Delhi.
Were you born there?
Yes, 2000.
And how long did you live there?
Sorry. Okay.
Am I so boring?
No, I can't help
Once
it.
I get really excited, okay?
I was going to yawn. I said, calm down.
Calm down. Calm down.
Get me one of those cubes, please. All right, take it. Thank you, sir. Now let's cover it. No, we'll put some of the steak kebab.
So if you only lived in India for 5 years,
Yes.
do you have memories from there?
Yes, I have.
What's one of your favorite memories?
Eating food in India.
I understand that you learned to cook when you were in India.
Yes.
Who did you learn to cook from?
My friend, Badur.
And what was his favorite thing to cook?
Indian food like butter chicken, steak kebab, dal, roti.
That's some of the things we're going to eat today, right?
Yes.
So good.
Very nice.
So, on God, we've traveled into your past a little bit. Now let's travel into your future. How are you feeling about going to college?
Happy and excited.
Where are you going to go?
GSU.
And they have a program there.
Yes.
It's called Ideal.
Yes, ideal program.
And you are specifically hoping to go because you would like to,
Open my restaurant.
which is why we're talking about cooking today.
Yes.
So when you open your restaurant, what kind of restaurant do you want it to be? Will it be Indian food?
Yes, it'll be Indian food.
Will you maybe call it the same as your cooking show?
Pasada.
Pasada.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful.
Everybody.
It turned out so good. So soft.
Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
My name is Jessica Winovich. I'm 37 years old and I'm from Columbus, Georgia. We were having a play rehearsal right here in this church. One of my kids was up to something and I turned around and said something really smart alecky to him. And one of our other kids, who couldn't have been more than 4 years old, turns around and looks at me and says, "Oh, I know what that is, Miss Jess, that's sarcasm." And I remember looking at the pastor and thinking, y'all are really gonna let me teach the kids? And it reminded me of the first play that I was in church. It was going to be a musical. I was so excited. I knew all the words and all the moves, and I was so ready to do it. And then it got to the week before the play, and two of the Sunday school teachers asked Mama to stay back and talk with them before we left church. We left that Sunday, but we didn't go back the next Sunday to do the play. And we never went back ever again. As I got older, I joined the drama club in high school, and I wanted to go to New York to study theater. And Mom very much did not want me to go to New York. So we got in a fight. And I said, you know, I don't think you ever wanted me to be on stage. You wouldn't even let me stay at that church. We didn't go back when they had the play. And Mama said, oh baby, we didn't go back because they didn't want us to go back. And she told me what happened. They asked her not to bring me the next Sunday because they didn't want me in the play, because I can't get up and down off of my knees well. I just think it's kind of funny, really, because I bet I'm the only kid that became a theater major out of the whole bunch. And I loved it. I loved theater. I felt alive, working with creative people and being on stage under the lights, and it was just, I felt so included and so at home. I found a place downtown called the Abbey that was part of the Presbyterian Church. I noticed that they were so welcoming to everybody and loving with everybody. And I felt at home there and at peace there. And I started to realize that maybe that kind of church was where I belonged. I was having Easter dinner with my church family, and one of my friends talked about a show he had seen called Hollywood, and it was about how Hollywood could have been in the 1940s if the Hays Code didn't exist and if things were more inclusive. And I watched it, and it was interesting and had some really beautiful moments, but I noticed that there were still no people like me in it. And at first I got kind of cranky like I usually do. But then there was a scene, and there were all these people who were so angry, and they were rioting just because the movie had a lead actress who was black. And I realized right then, people don't hate disabled people the same way that they hate other marginalized groups. When hate comes from fear, and when they hate them, it's because they fear the other. They fear a group they're never going to be a part of. But when they see us, the fear is different. Because you can't wake up from a car accident and be a person of another race. But you can get hurt, or you can get sick, and you can be disabled. And that's scary. So now I see that fear is different. And I think it makes people want to not see us and to hide us away. And one of the things I love most about doing plays with the kids is that since I write them, I know that all the kids get a part. If you want a part, you get one. You get to be visible and seen. And I'm just so thankful for my church and the voice that they've given me, because I am seen. And that's the most important thing for me.
Hi, my name is Ryan Lee. I'm 29 years old and I live in Dunwoody, Georgia. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me a couple years ago. It all started when I was trying out this improv class through this program called Autism Improvise, because I wanted to try something new and just wanted someplace to go that wasn't home. So it was run by this woman named Sandy Bruce, whose grandson is also on the spectrum like me. And the class had 6 or 7 people. And Sandy really knew how to get the energy going in the class. And also, I met this guy on the spectrum named Steve, and we seemed to hit it off pretty well because we shared things in common, that we both like animals and we both like games. So he invited me to play Dungeons & Dragons, or D&D as they like to call it, at his house one weekend. So a couple weeks later, I went over to Steve's house for the weekend. And Steve's friend Dave was also there too. And we had a great time playing D&D. Also, Dungeons & Dragons is quite complex because You have to roll a dice that determines how much damage you cause when you're battling a creature, or determines how far away you go on a path. Also, what really was a great feature of Steve's house was his bedroom. He had like a lot of animal figures on multiple shelves there. If you can say, it's like Noah's Ark exploded in there. Steve also has a pet tortoise and a pet gecko who he lets roam around the house sometime. What also caught my attention was Steve's pictures that were from his prom years ago. He looked kind of different in them, like darker, his hair straighter, or whatever. I told Steve that he kind of looked like an emo in those pictures. And later on, we had Domino's Pizza for lunch, me, Steve, and Dave, and then I left an hour later. The next week I saw Steve at improv class. Whenever I tried to talk to him, he kept walking away from me, and I didn't know why. I was like, what the H? Like 4 times in class. It happened like for the next 3 weeks of class. And then a month later, I saw Steve do that Dream Big dance in Midtown Atlanta, and he still kept walking away from me when I tried to talk to him. I emailed Steve's mom, and she said that Steve felt uncomfortable with questions I asked or things I said about his prom pictures while I was visiting that time. And she said not to take it personally because Steve's personality deals with this kind of stuff by just running away from it and not talking about it. But it still hurt my feelings really bad. And then later on, I heard from someone else that Steve didn't want to be friends with me ever again. And that hurt me to my core. Still, those feelings of rejection can hurt pretty bad. And you can say Steve rejected me really hard. So you can learn from this that those feelings of rejection can be so overwhelming. But I can get through them if I'm just honest with myself. So if anything like that happens again, which I really hope doesn't, but chances are it still might, I'll be okay. Because I'm lucky to have friends that I can talk to about it and confide in about it, and they can make me feel better. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Blair, and I'm 14 years old, and I live in Sugar Hill, Georgia. And I have a syndrome called Ostrom syndrome. It affects my hunger and can affect many organ systems. What makes me happy would be my dogs, taking them on a walk, and my friends. I could have gotten an expert to tell you about Ostrom syndrome, but I'm the expert on me. Ostrom affects me by my constant hunger, constant weight gain, difficulty losing weight, health issues, a lot of doctor appointments, cardiologist, endocrinologist, ear, nose, and throat, neurologist. It's a lot of doctors, y'all. So I have to go to Memphis like 6 months or so because I'm in a clinical drug trial for Ostrom syndrome, and it's really interesting because I get to ride in a plane. So yeah, it's real fun. So I've gotten bullied before. Just because you look different doesn't mean it's okay. And I just really want people to know it's okay to be different. You shouldn't have to change for anybody else. One way I've overcome bullying is met my friend Hunter. We met in 6th grade at middle school, and we walked by each other and said hi, and we talked, and I felt like we had a lot in common, and I feel like we've been buddies ever since. Hi, Blair. Hi. Do you think you're gonna win?
Of course.
Or do you think I'm gonna lose?
I think you're gonna lose.
Hey! You know what? I'll be kinda nice to you today. Not.
What color?
Yellow. What I want the world to know about living with a disability is that my syndrome does not define me. I am more like my peers than different. I have hopes and dreams. I wish people would be kind to everyone they meet. We never know the battles someone may be fighting and how they're feeling. And just know it's not okay to bully people. I just want to be accepted.
Hey, Faith. I need to make a film to get into NYU. Can I make a film about you?
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. Oh, ooh, ah. Quiet on set.
Storytelling with Faith, directed by her sister, take 1.
My name is Faith, and I am 21 years old. I have a passion for life and bring joy into every space I enter. But this was not always the conversation. See, when I was a baby, I wasn't developing as I should. My mom took me to the doctor, and after many tests, the doctor said they couldn't find a reason for my lack of progress and gave me the label of developmentally delayed. At 1 year old, I could not independently sit up, roll over, or even smile. I was assigned to every type of therapy imaginable: physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and developmental therapy. I was slowly developing my gross motor skills, but doctors were not optimistic that I would ever walk independently. My team and my family would not accept this prognosis and pushed me to try even harder. My parents encouraged me and surrounded me with so many loving individuals that spoke life into my situation. My church family, especially my pastor, encouraged me to reach beyond the diagnosis and prognosis to show that modern-day miracles still happen. So I took that energy and love and literally ran with it. More about that in a minute. In 2003, my dad was deployed to the Middle East for a long time. Before he left, Mom asked him what would be the best gift he could receive if he returned home from the war. It was for me to walk to him. My mission was now set. I would walk to Daddy when he got off the plane. Over the course of that year, I worked hard with my mom, sister, physical therapist, and other team members to become ambulatory using a walker. When my daddy returned, I walked to him on my walker without help. There were tears everywhere. This was just the beginning. The more I understood the freedom of walking, the more I wanted it. Soon after, I realized that I could use my legs to get places. The moment I had arrived when I made the decision to leave my walker and try these legs out without support. It happened at church. I wanted to see the Dora the Explorer show that was playing in the church nursery. My walker would not cooperate and turn like I needed it to in order to get to the room. So, I left the darn contraption right there and began using the walls as a brace and sidestepped all the way to the nursery. It was about 20 feet. This was it. I could use these legs to get me places. At that point, I began to leave my walker more frequently until one day I just didn't need it. So they increased my strengthening exercises to support my motivation to walk. They always ramped it up when I showed I could. Years later, some peers at my high school decided to start a Special Olympics team and invited me to join. This was so exciting because at this point, my socializing spirit was at an all-time high. I would get to hang out with a lot of people. They practiced with us 3 times per week. This experience started my love for track and field sports. Not just for the track part, but the opportunity to love on people. There were so many people at the events, and I loved every minute of them. Since my first Special Olympics run, I have competed every year in the 100-meter race and the standing long jump. I medaled at all but 1 regional appearance and earned 3 appearances at state, winning 2 silver and 1 bronze. Remember when I said I couldn't smile when I was a little baby? These days, all I do is smile. While my prognosis may have been that I would never walk independently, I run today. And one of my favorite things to do is swim. I run, I swim, I smile, I hug, I jump. I do all of these things as a reminder for you that anything is possible.
Good job, Faith. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Aww.
Oh.
Aww.
Oh.
And that's a wrap.